You're not broke because you're unlucky. You're broke because you still believe a job will save you. The Matrix trained you to be poor. I'm here to reprogram your mind for millions. If you died tomorrow, would you be proud of the life you built or ashamed you wasted it watching other men win? While you scroll, someone else is getting rich. While you sleep, someone's buying freedom. Wake up, no one's coming to save you. Get rich or get forgotten. You were not born to be average. That lie was planted in your head the moment you entered the system. They trained you from day one to obey, to comply, to follow rules made by people who don't follow them themselves. You sit in classrooms reciting nonsense about things you'll never use, while the real education, the one that builds wealth, freedom, and power, is deliberately kept out of reach. You were never taught how to make money. You were taught how to need money. That's the trick. They didn't design you to win. They designed you to submit. Every morning you wake up and drag yourself into a place you hate, to do something you don't love for someone who doesn't care about you, just to get paid enough to survive, but never enough to escape. And you tell yourself you're being responsible. That's not responsibility. That's fear wearing a mask. That's you trying to convince yourself that slavery is safety. You're not tired because you work hard. You're tired because you work hard for nothing. You're tired because your soul is suffocating under a life that doesn't belong to you. You were sold a broken model. They told you that hard work alone was the answer, but they left out the truth. Hard work without leverage is poverty in disguise. The janitor works hard. The construction worker breaks his back. The waitress runs herself into the ground. But none of them are buying freedom. None of them are building wealth. They are trading life for pennies. Because the system was never built to reward effort. It rewards strategy. It rewards ownership. It rewards risk. And you were told to avoid all three. You think being broke is a result of bad luck. It's not. It's a result of bad programming. You've been taught to chase paychecks instead of purpose. You've been told that being cautious is wise, when in reality, it's the fast lane to regret. You were brainwashed to believe wealth is for the lucky few, when in truth, it's for the bold. You don't have to invent the next iPhone or build the next Amazon. You just have to be brave enough to start. Hustle's not about killing yourself with 18-hour days doing something you hate. Hustle is about taking control. It's about realizing that you're a product if you're not the producer. You're the commodity if you're not the creator. You are either building your dream or someone else is paying you to build theirs. That's the fundamental truth people ignore. Your boss didn't start a business to make you rich. He built it to make himself rich. And you're part of that equation, just not in the way you hoped. Every hour you clock in, you're building equity for someone else. Every day you spend waiting for a raise, you're letting another man scale his empire on your time. And then you wonder why wealth feels so far away. Look around you. Everyone's running on autopilot, chasing the next paycheck, the next promotion, the next illusion of progress. They post quotes about grinding, but when it's time to risk, they hide. They want comfort more than they want freedom. That's why they'll stay broke forever. Because comfort is addictive. It makes you forget you're in chains. It whispers it's not that bad while robbing you of the life you could have had. Real wealth doesn't come from comfort. It comes from chaos, from taking the leap, from betting on yourself when no one else will. But here's the part they don't tell you. You're not stuck. You're not broken. You're not too late. The door is still open, but you have to walk through it. You have to rewire the way you see the world. You have to stop asking for permission and start demanding more from yourself. You have to stop looking at successful people like they're aliens. They're not. They're just men who refuse to be caged. They learned the game and then they played it better than everyone else, and so can you. But not by waiting, not by hoping, by moving. Entrepreneurship isn't just about money. It's about power. It's about having control over your time, your income, and your destiny. It's about waking up when you want, working on what you love, and answering to no one. It's not easy. It's not safe, but it's real. It's freedom. That's the hustle. That's the wealth mindset. And once you taste it, once you see the numbers in your account come from something you built, you'll never go back. The idea of working for someone else will make your skin crawl. So here's the truth. You're not broke because the world is unfair. You're broke because you're playing a losing game with rules you never questioned. But now you know. And once you know, you can't unknow. The chains are invisible, but they're real. And now you've got the key. So what are you going to do? Stay where you are and pretend you didn't hear this? Or rise up and build the life you were born to live? Because the hustle doesn't wait, and neither does time. No. I remember sitting in a room smaller than your average bathroom. walls stained yellow from years of smoke and struggle, no Wi-Fi, no mattress, just the floor. My phone was cracked, and my bank account mocked me with 2 digits I didn't want to see. I had nothing, no fallback plan, no wealthy parents, just a cold floor beneath my back, and a world outside that couldn't care less whether I ate that day or not. And in that silence, I realized something: no one was coming. No one was gonna save me. No miracle, no lottery, no secret millionaire friend, just me and the decision to either stay on that floor or rise from it. That's the moment I chose war. It didn't start with millions. It didn't even start with thousands. It started with discipline. Every single morning I told myself, you may not be rich yet, but you will act like you deserve to be. I didn't chase motivation. I didn't wait to feel ready. I moved, whether I was scared, tired, angry, or alone. That's how hustle works. Hustle doesn't care about your emotions. Hustle cares about execution. So I sold things online, flipped whatever I could get my hands on, networked with people who were already on the move. I didn't party. I didn't escape into distractions. I was building while others were wasting. While they scrolled, I studied. While they slept, I strategized. While they joked about get rich quick, I was learning the blueprint to make sure I never felt broke again. People think wealth is about numbers. It's not. It's about mindset. It's about becoming a man who refuses to be poor, not just financially, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually. When I was broke, I was poor in belief. I doubted everything, but when I decided to commit, truly commit to building my life, I didn't just gain money, I gained clarity. I saw how most people live in a fog, numbing themselves with mediocrity, trading hours for coins and calling it stability. But that's not living, that's existing. And I refuse to rot quietly in a system that rewards silence and punishes hunger. One day, after months of grind, I made my first proper deal. It wasn't big, a few thousand, but it felt like I'd conquered the world, because that money didn't come from luck. It didn't come from someone else's approval. It came from me, from the hours no one saw, from the sacrifices no one applauded, from the belief that I could turn dust into gold if I just kept swinging. You either build or beg. There's no in between. That moment lit something in me that never went out. I didn't want to survive anymore. I wanted to dominate. There's a certain high that comes from knowing you own your life. Knowing you can wake up and write your own schedule, your own income, your own future. And once you taste that, going back to anything else is death. I started building multiple streams, online businesses, crypto, trading, e-commerce. But it was never about the vehicles. It was about the engine. Me. I became unstoppable because I made wealth my identity, not my goal. I didn't want to be rich someday. I decided I already was. And now the world just had to catch up. And that's what people don't get. They think I got lucky. No, I got relentless. I built my life like a man digging a tunnel with his bare hands. Every hour, every cut, every callus earned. The world is yours if you're willing to take punches while everyone else is looking for pillows. I wasn't trying to impress anyone. I was trying to escape the version of me that accepted scraps. I was trying to bury the boy who thought mediocrity was good enough. I didn't become successful because it was easy. I became successful because I refused to stay poor. I refused to be a man who dies with regrets, knowing he never even tried. And that's why I'll never lose. Because I'm not playing to participate, I'm playing to conquer. And if you're still breathing, still thinking, still hungry, you can do the same. You just need to make a decision. You need to draw the line in your life where you say, from this moment forward, I will never settle again. That's where the real journey begins. This isn't a movie. It's not a fantasy. It's not a motivational quote on your wall. It's real. And if I can turn nothing into everything, so can you. But you better be ready to bleed for it. You better be willing to go through hell, not just visit it. Because wealth is not for the interested. It's for the obsessed. It's not for the patient, it's for the ruthless. And the moment you stop waiting, the moment you start moving like your life depends on it, that's the moment your story starts. Every second you waste is a second you can't get back. That's not just a line, that's a death sentence for every man who thinks tomorrow is guaranteed. You don't understand how dangerous it is to be broke until you see someone you love suffering and you can't help them. You don't understand how weak it feels to stare at a hospital bill or a legal fee or a life-changing opportunity and realize you're too poor to participate in your own life. That's the kind of fear I want you to feel, not to paralyze you, but to wake you up. Because if you don't feel urgency right now, you're already dead. You're just waiting for the clock to catch up. People walk through life like they've got unlimited time. You don't. Every hour that slips by is an hour stolen by your laziness, by your excuses, by your inability to commit. You scroll past opportunities every single day and laugh it off, thinking you're too smart to fall for it, when in reality, you're too scared to try. You're not skeptical, you're scared. And scared men don't build empires. They die broke, full of stories and regrets that will haunt them in silence because pride won't let them admit they wasted everything. You know what's really terrifying? That someone dumber than you, lazier than you, less educated than you is richer than you. Not because they had it easier, but because they moved while you overthought. Because they risked while you hesitated. Because they wanted it more than you did. That's the truth. Hustle doesn't reward talent. Hustle rewards movement. You're not poor because life is unfair. You're poor because you keep choosing comfort over conquest. You choose distraction over domination, and then you sit there watching other men win, wondering how they did it, when the truth is, they just wanted it more than you. People say money isn't everything. Those are the people who've never had it. Try saying that when your mother needs surgery. Try saying that when your rent is overdue. Try saying that when your bank card declines at the grocery store and the cashier looks at you like you're filth. That kind of shame never leaves. It scars your soul. And unless you use that pain to build yourself into something better, you'll carry it until the day you die. Pain is either your prison or your fuel. You choose. What if I told you the version of you that could be a millionaire already exists? He's inside you, but he's buried beneath years of bad habits, weak decisions, and fake confidence. You're not stuck, you're undisciplined. And discipline is the difference between the man who dreams and the man who earns. The world doesn't owe you a single thing. It doesn't care how hard your past was. It only cares about how dangerous you're willing to become to change your future. And right now, you're not dangerous. You're soft, predictable, beatable. Because if your enemies wanted to destroy you, all they'd have to do is distract you. And you destroy yourself. Let me give you a vision. Close your eyes and imagine it's 10 years from now. You're sitting in the exact same chair, scrolling the exact same feed, watching the same motivational clips, repeating the same excuses, feeling the same guilt, and still broke. You'll remember this very moment, and the sick part is, you'll know you had a chance to change everything, and you didn't take it. That's the real hell, knowing you were capable, but chose average. That feeling will suffocate you. It'll eat at your confidence, your masculinity, your sense of purpose. You'll walk around angry at life, but it's not life that failed you. It's you. You have no idea how short this ride is. You think you're young, you think you've got time, but time isn't your friend, it's your enemy. It's stealing from you with every sunrise. You're not a kid anymore. You don't get to pretend your choices don't matter. Every day you're building something, either a kingdom or a coffin. And you better choose now, because indecision is still a decision. And indecision is what broke men master. There's a whole world out there living the life you want, and you're sitting behind a screen convincing yourself you'll start tomorrow. Let me tell you something. Tomorrow is the lie poor people use to stay comfortable today. Hustlers move now. Warriors move now. Winners move now. You don't need a perfect plan. You need motion. And if you're not hungry for it, someone else is. Someone else is out there working 3 times harder, studying the game, building the skills, taking the hits, because they know what's at stake. They know they only get one shot at this. Just one. So what's it gonna be? Are you gonna stay the same, broke, bored, bitter, or are you finally going to rise? Not just for the money, but for the freedom. For the ability to protect your family, to walk into a room and command respect, to build a life so powerful that your last name becomes a legacy. That doesn't come by accident, that comes from war. And the war starts now. You either go all in on wealth, or you get eaten alive by the system that profits off your weakness. There's no middle ground anymore. You want money, you want freedom, you want respect, then understand this right now. No one is coming to save you. Not your parents, not your friends, not society, not some magical business opportunity. If you're waiting for someone to believe in you before you move, you've already lost. Real men build before anyone claps. They grind while they're being laughed at. The applause only comes after you've proven you don't need it. That's how kings are made. In silence, in discomfort, in obsession. You don't hustle because it feels good. You hustle because losing isn't an option. People talk about finding their purpose like it's a spiritual quest. No, you create your purpose. You craft it from the bricks of suffering, sacrifice, and daily discipline. You don't wake up with it, you earn it. And if your purpose isn't strong enough to pull you out of bed while the rest of the world is sleeping, then it's not a purpose, it's a fantasy. Winners don't need motivation. They move like their life depends on it because it does. You don't need more time. You need more urgency, more precision, more fire behind every decision. You think money is evil? You think being rich makes you corrupt? That's what poor people tell themselves to cope. Money doesn't change you, it reveals you. And if you're scared of becoming powerful, it's because deep down, you know you're not ready. But here's the beauty of hustle. It forges you. It refines you. You enter the fire a sheep, you leave a lion. You bleed for your goals, you grow fame, you suffer with intention, and suddenly the world bows when you walk. That's the transformation. That's what wealth is. It's not just cash, it's command. The power to bend your reality by force of will. Discipline isn't sexy. Waking up early, reading while others scroll, sacrificing pleasure for purpose, that's the real grind. Everyone wants to be rich, but no one wants to be boring. They chase dopamine and wonder why they stay broke. You think the man who owns the yacht was entertained every day for 10 years straight? No. He locked in while others escaped. He moved in silence while others complained. He didn't chase fun, he chased freedom. And now he has both. That's the price. That's the currency. And until you pay it, you're not allowed to envy those who did. You'll never rise by accident. You don't fall into success. You have to rip it out of life's throat. And the moment you let off the gas, the moment you decide today I'll rest, there's a man hungrier than you grinding while you sleep. He's not smarter, he's not luckier, he just refuses to quit. That's the mindset. Ruthless, relentless, responsible for everything. If it fails, it's your fault. If you're broke, it's your fault. If you're broke, it's your fault. If your life isn't on fire with passion, it's your fault. Once you own that, you're dangerous, because then nothing can stop you. You become untouchable. Not because the world changes, but because you do. There's nothing noble about being average. There's no pride in being forgettable. You weren't born to live a decent life. You weren't put on this planet to barely survive. That's the lie they sold you to keep you tame. But there's a part of you screaming for more. You feel it every time you see success and get angry. Every time you walk past a mansion and your heart beats faster. That's not jealousy. That's your potential mocking you. It's the king inside you slamming his fists against the walls of your mediocrity, begging you to wake up. You don't need more luck. You need more reps. You need to outwork every version of yourself that hesitated, that procrastinated, that feared failure. You need to become the man who deserves it. Not just once, every single day. No days off. No excuses. Hustle's not a phase, it's a personality. And if you're not obsessed, you're irrelevant. Because obsession beats talent when talent is lazy. And you better believe that every rich man you admire wasn't just working harder, he was bleeding for it. Bleeding for a life so few will ever taste. Because most quit before they start. So the next time you feel tired, good, that's the sign. Tired means you're growing. Hungry means you're alive. Angry means you're not accepting mediocrity. Use it, weaponize it, turn your frustration into fire and your time into treasure. Because if you don't, someone else will. And they'll use the same hours, same opportunities, same internet, and they'll become millionaires while you become a memory. It's not about if you can do it, it's about if you can do it long enough to outlast everyone who gave up. That's where the money lives. That's where the glory hides. In the grind, in the trench, in the repetition of excellence. You don't become rich by accident. You become rich by decision. Decide now. Decide to become a weapon. Decide to live a life so powerful that no one can ignore you. Decide to hustle so hard that the world bends to your ambition. That's what real wealth is. Not numbers on a screen, but a reality you carved with fire. And if you're not willing to sacrifice for that now, you'll be forced to sacrifice your dreams forever. This is your moment. Right now. The screen you're staring at, the blood in your chest, the thoughts in your head, this is the edge of the cliff. This is the fork in the road. You either leap into the life you were born to build, or you stay shackled to the lie they gave you. They've spent years beating you down, telling you that comfort is success, that quiet mediocrity is noble, but it's not. It's slavery wrapped in convenience. You weren't made for survival, you were made to dominate, to create, to lead, to conquer. There is no plan B because plan A is not optional. You either win or you suffer until you do. You've listened long enough, now it's time to act. Because every second you delay, someone else is snapping up the wealth that could have been yours. Someone else is taking the risks you were too scared to take. And what do you get? Regret. That's the currency of the lazy. Lifetime regret. The kind that wakes you up at 3 a.m. and asks, what if I had tried harder? What if I had been brave? You're not tired, you're underpushed. You don't need rest, you need war. You need a mission, something to fight for, because men like you weren't built to relax. We were built to build empires, and the only thing stopping you is the weak voice in your head that says maybe tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. There's now or never. Understand something that will haunt you forever if you ignore it. You are fully capable. Every limitation you think you have was taught to you. You weren't born soft, you were trained to settle. But your DNA is still royal, your spirit still remembers, and it's screaming to be unleashed. You want wealth? Then earn it like your life depends on it, because it does. This world respects nothing but results. It doesn't care about your intentions, your excuses, your mental health breaks. The world bows to the man who wins. And if you refuse to play the game, you don't get to complain about being poor. You chose it. You either rise like a warrior or rot like the rest. There is no middle ground. The path to greatness isn't paved with luck or likes. It's paved with sacrifice, suffering, and savage consistency. And it's lonely. Make peace with that now. Most people will never understand you. They'll mock you. They'll question your ambition. Let them. Their opinion is the echo of their failure. You don't need support. You need hunger. You don't need motivation. You need a refusal to live like the rest. Every hour they spend binge watching, you're studying. Every dollar they waste partying, you're investing. And every night they sleep peacefully in denial, you're awake building a future that will make them wish they listened. Success isn't just about money, it's about control. The ability to do what you want, when you want, how you want. That's freedom. And if you don't have that, you're still a slave. A suit and tie doesn't make you free. A six-figure job doesn't make you free. Ownership is freedom. Hustle is the vehicle. Wealth is the reward. But it only